As the month of August starts, so does the last FC26 podcast. In today's podcast, we will review the game after playing it the whole long year. We'll look back on the highlights, we look back on the nightmares, and we look forward to FC27. My name is John, and this is FUT Review.
Welcome to the show, we're breaking it down. Top tier heat, yeah, we wear the crown. Every week, every move, it's all in the light. Every week, every move, it's all in the light. UT in review.
Welcome back, footies, to yet another episode of FUT Review, episode 741. Luckily, I don't have to do today's show alone. I am joined by, let's say it once again, because they love to hear it, and it's part of the contract, by the two most handsome men in Scotland. Welcome back, Neil.
Hi there, thanks for having me back, and it's lovely to be back on a pod, talking about FUT as well. It's good to be back on. Congratulations on the World Cup pods, they were fantastic.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Well, that was a hefty grind, to be fair. But yeah, we missed you there, and I'm glad to have you back on a FUT-related podcast now.
Yeah, lack of football knowledge was probably enough to keep me off the pods, plus I didn't really watch much of it. I'm into other sports over the summer, let's just say.
Yes, we should do golf and review and let you do that show.
Why not?
But that,
don't know much about
I
that.
can't be a part of it, so it's going to be hard. Talk about most handsome man of Scotland. If you're looking at the videos show on Spotify and or on YouTube, you can see he's become a little bit smaller. And that's not because he bought a new camera and he has got a new lens. He has added some big muscles, but he's also lost a lot of weight. He's Mr. Yeah, well, should we call him? Hercules? Let's call him Hercules today. Welcome back, Nathan. How are you doing, buddy?
Thanks for that. No, I'm doing really well, thanks. I'm excited to be sort of chewing the fat for the next wee while. It's good to be back on talking FUT, sort of wrapping it up. I think it's a good time to be wrapping 26 up. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one for this.
You thought it's getting another heat wave in Europe. Let's go outside and just do some cardio, or what?
Can't go out in the heat. No. And I'm ginger, so if I went out in a heat wave, you'd never see me again. So, yeah, that's not happening.
That is good that you are inside recording podcast, my friend. But it's definitely good to have you guys on. This will be probably, now most likely, our last FC26 podcast with all the FC27 hype building. We've done 2 shows about FC27 already. That means it is time to get this year or this season closed. This is our 8th season already of this podcast, guys. Can you believe it?
That's mental. It's such a good accomplishment for everyone involved, going in a different sort of evolutions from the daily to the twice and 3 times a week, and to still be going when lots of other sort of outlets have kind of closed down, and we're still able to keep churning out good content. It's really an impressive thing. So, congrats to the whole team.
Yeah, you've been a big part of it this year.
Well, I've been a long time listener. I've always enjoyed listening to the pods, and it's great to be a year into the game, yeah, and onto the pods for this year. It's been a great achievement personally for myself and hopefully my contributions are put up with.
I just checked some interesting facts about the podcast. I could see probably somehow that how much episode we made this year. But in total, we have made 837 podcasts so far. And this being 741 means there's almost 100 bonus episodes hidden between the 8 seasons. Can you? It's been a long journey. I'll talk about the long journey. Last bit of housekeeping for this podcast is that because will be our last FC26 podcast, we will not cover the last 2 weeks of footies. Instead, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, or we're all going to take a little bit of break. But since I have to press the publish button and pay for it getting published, I am not going to push that while I'm on holiday. We'll be back first week September, and hopefully get all the information going on FC27 and get everyone prepared for that one and season 9. And in season 9, you will get 1 show a week every single, I think it was Sunday we'll be releasing. More info about that shortly. But we will be making 2 shows a week. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, you get 2 shows a week. So check that out. Anyways, all the podcast housekeeping is done now. I want to look back into FC 26. And to look back, I want to rate this game before we take a deep dive into some specifics. I want you both to give a rating of this game between 1 being absolutely poor, like one of the other football games that came out this year, but I'm not going to mention it, or 10 absolutely brilliant. Let's start with Nathan. 1 to 10. What is your score for FC 26? You don't have to explain everything. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, so I think I'm probably going to go, I'm sitting between 6 and 6.5, so I'm going to go for 6.25 just to be really difficult. But there's bits of it that I have enjoyed. I can't say that it's been terrible, but there's other bits that do let it down, which we'll go into in more detail shortly.
Perfect. Neil, I think he scored, Nathan stole your score, didn't he?
Yeah, without giving the numbers away, we ain't got a similar number in my head, so without doing the 6-7 meme, which I don't want to do, I'm going to go. I'm going to 6.5. Is probably, it's had good points. The game's had good points, but it's been more let down with broken promises more than anything else. I think they overplayed their hand and with bringing the game out, and we've got to talk about stuff like that. So somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Decent scores. I'm going to go for a 7 out of 10, just because the sun is shining and I want to be a little bit more optimistic than you guys. You might be handsome. I just am optimistic here. Guys, to clear that out in more detail, what I've done is I've made some certain topics and I want to discuss those topics with you. And after we discuss those topics, I want to see if you want to adjust your scores, come to think of it. And let's start with the first topic, which is gameplay, the meta, and playstyles. One thing that got introduced this year was the authentic versus competitive gameplay presets. If you're playing FUT, that means you're automatically playing competitive. But if you're playing, let's say, career mode or seasons, you are playing authentic. The one is faster, the other one is more often tuned as they are in FUT. Neil, let's start with you. Have you actually experienced anything outside of the competitive gameplay, or has it just gone past you?
No, mainly because other game modes were set up in the realistic gameplay, which I didn't know how to change after a few months. So when you're doing other objectives for like SP, like career mode, manager mode, I was playing games at a much slower tempo and it was far too slow. The competitive is far better than the other one.
Do you agree there, Nate? I see you have a different opinion about it.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I've only played the competitive one, so I've not actually messed around with the other game modes, so I've kind of just stuck to the one, and that's all I know for this iteration.
It took me 3 months to realise I could change the other mode. That's how I didn't change it. I didn't know it.
Oh, that's too funny.
I didn't actually know that you could change that, to be fair as well. So I've not, I didn't know that. What I did notice though, normally when you play FUT and when suddenly you go into, let's say, a tournament play like we do on the events in Greed, then you're suddenly back to the authentic gameplay. And I quite like the authentic gameplay, to be fair. But I can also see why the other one has been introduced. Because, for example, if you play authentic gameplay and you have an Mbappe in your team, he will just outpace everyone else. There's no catching up with him. While on the competitive gameplay, of course, that is more possible to tune that. So I think it's been a good change, and it made sure the game didn't break that far. I quite like. I think it was a good addition, and they have kept the addition in FC 27 as well. Playstyles, formations, and mechanics. Neil, is there anything formation or gameplay of that you think is completely broken, or are you very much tired of, or shouldn't be in there, or absolutely love?
Formations this year have been not bad. There hasn't been one specific broken formation that absolutely everybody uses. We're not far away from that. I mean, viably, there's 2 formations that work, but other formations do seem to work. I've tried a few this year, but it's not a broken issue the same way it has been in previous games. So we've had the 4-3-2-1 era. Last year we had, Joe, I can't even remember what we had last year, but I'm sure there was a broken formation last year. This year's been a bit better, hasn't it? More variety. Playstyles, however, well, what were we told? Playstyles were going to not matter as much, if at all. We were told at the start of the game. With the We've Listened campaign, I think that's where EA let themselves down massively last year, and I think it's caused some damage this year for releasing 27, from my point of view.
Yeah, we can tackle this topic right away, though, if you want.
You what, sorry?
We can tackle that topic right away if you want.
No, I mean, just answering your specific question, really. Playstyles have, let's be honest, up until really have more than mattered. There was a point in this game before they had to patch it where if you didn't have a playstyle, if you didn't have a passing playstyle, you couldn't play the player, you couldn't pass the ball. Things like that. Finesse shot is broken, but it's broken every year, especially at this stage of the game when everyone's got 90-odd, 99 shooting and stuff like that. So it's not really an issue now. Low driven
with the low driven being broken, though.
Well, it started with low driven being broken because people couldn't defend, and then Bruiser was broken because it didn't work, to then Bruiser being the most broken mechanic in the game, and it took them months to fix that. So formations, not so much. Playstyles, just I don't know how you tackle it for next year. I think they've created a hole that they can't get out.
Nathan?
Yes, you can't actually disagree with Neil there at all. Formations, there's so many that have been viable, so that's been fun. It's one of the few that I've been able to play around the whole year. Playstyles are just manically broken. I like what they've said they're going to do for the next one, where it's going to be more stat based. So, and then the playstyles will then obviously just improve that. But like we're kind of alluding to earlier, it's, all these promises, will it actually happen? Like, my biggest one, I don't mind finesse being broken, because actually, you don't like conceding them, but there's something nice about a 30-yard ping. But the bruiser was my biggest one. Like, once that was so OP, because you had random defenders just beating up your attackers when you're going, and there was literally no way around them. So that was my biggest bugbear. Half of me just go scrap playstyles. Go on to just your stats. If you've got 99 curve and 99 long shots, you should be broken at finesse shots. The long range finesse. But I don't know whether that's in, because obviously they've brought in the playstyles lab, which I really like that, because it makes cards that wouldn't normally be viable really good. So that's quite good. But then you get to this stage of the game where every character now pretty much you have to put your playstyles on, so you're only using, it's just same character but with different sort of skin on it almost.
Yeah, I don't mind the playstyles, and especially when you look at FC27 where they say silver playstyles will matter more compared to the gold ones. I think that was definitely a good change. What I don't like is I dislike the fact rules are so unimportant. At least they feel unimportant. I quite like the fact you have a winger that cuts inside, or a winger that is better when you would go for a cross, for example, stuff like that. The overlapping fullbacks instead of defending fullbacks, etc., etc. But in the end, you could put any fullback on defensive. It wouldn't even matter. Sure, if you put any fullback that has overlapping, put an overlapping, it would do it a little bit better. But it was all right. And I think the biggest issue I had with gameplay this year was more, I don't think this year specifically rewarded general football IQ and tactical build-up. I think it rewarded more of high-paced skill moves, cutbacks and dribbles, especially at the start, holding R1 dribble, right? We all know the Pina area where we started this year. I think that was...
Was that because we actually started the game, let's be honest, I think the first 3 weeks of this year was so positive. Everybody was on board with it. Well, everybody that was a purist of this game is the best way to put it, where manual defending really did take apart a skill to learn and play. So I think that's a big part of that. I think the kind of OP dribbling and stuff was the fact that people just didn't know how to defend, and frankly don't want to learn to defend.
After Christmas, we still, was still the most used card, right? The price actually went up more. And I don't mind gameplay changes, but it felt like they were listening a little bit too much to the community. And with 8 million players, you can't listen to everyone. So whoever screams the loudest gets the biggest vote, I suppose.
They shouldn't have listened at all, is what I always said.
Yeah, and I think you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't in this situation for them, right? The thing is, we've had goalkeeper movement nerfed to the ground. And if you look at the podcast we've made this year, when we started out, I said after 1 week, next thing they'll do is they'll change the defense, right? And the next problem we'll have is that you can't score from distance. So what they'll do is they'll have to boost the finesse shot. They boosted finesse shot, but the goalkeeper movement was strong. So it still didn't make any sense. And we could say already, I think in episode 20 this year, hey, what next going to be is that they will nerf the goalkeeper movement to the ground, because finesse shots aren't viable yet unless you give them all finesse shots plus, which you can't do at this stage of the game. So the changes were very much predictable, and they were built on emotions and cause and effects. So you change something, that means something else will get destroyed, and go from there. I think that was very much predictable in their effort to listen to the feedback, perhaps. So I don't think it was all badly done or extremely poor timing. I think it came from a good place, to be fair, this year. But yeah, I think
my big thing for that is that they obviously can, like, there's a lot of streamers that were very vocal, like you said, whoever shouts the loudest. But then objectively, why would you make so much time and effort to create a new game, call it 26, obviously from 25, and then just patch it so it's straight back to 25? Like, you may as well just re-releasing the same game with, a new skin and a few new tweaks rather than, doing that, because it effectively kind of went back again. And they've done that over the years, haven't they? Like, that is one of the annoyances, is that the first patch is almost like a totally different game, and you kind of go back to the through ball sort of simulator for a bit, especially once playstyle pluses came in with the players. The lob through balls or what in the finesse shots were just that's what you were getting for a lot of the games, or the run down the wing and cut back as well.
Yeah, and we don't know the answer on that, unfortunately. I think they probably see the numbers dropping off, and that's why they changed it. I felt it was changed a little bit too drastically. But in the end, it did make sure that every 4 weeks we had something to talk about on the podcast. Plus, it made sure we had to relearn the game every single 4 weeks. So there was something positive about it. But it was two predictable changes. And I think if you look at the FC77 changes we have talked about in the gameplay deep dive we did last week, those feel far more nuanced. And I think those would go better. And hopefully they let it out to dry a little bit before they change everything back.
That's exactly what they need to do, yeah. Is it what they need to? They need to let the game breathe and see how it goes.
Yeah. If you talk about gameplay, topic 1, gameplay, meta and playstyles, what rating would you give that, Neil? 1 to 10 now, thinking about it?
It's difficult because the meta is just, it's not the game, it's community driven, isn't it? So, I mean, there was a chunk of the meta this year where it was a 4-5-1 counter simulator where you could park your bus and nobody was getting through it. Luckily, it didn't last forever.
Because they did make changes, so...
Yeah, exactly that. But it has been, again, it's been awful AI reliant eventually. And the thing is, they keep saying they've not touched the AI, but they've clearly done something. Meta out of 10, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what is a meta just now. Are we still on lengthy wingers, lengthy strikers? Is that what we're on?
No, so I think that's been pretty versatile as well this year.
I don't know. It's been a kind of, again, 7-8. It's been not bad. If you're going to put that in with formations, the fact that there's been a variety of formations, not just the 1 or 2 formations that you play every single year, then I'm going to make it a bit higher. I'll probably put it 7 or 8.
Okay. Nate?
Yeah, I was going to say 7 because formation-wise, like you say, it's been good. The parts of playstyles have been good. Like I know it kind of comes into the content side, but creating your own play. So, like, I know there's certain websites that tell you the best rated playstyles for positions, but I quite like having my own ones. Like, I like having my wingers having tricks, just to try and embarrass folk, like stuff like that. So, I think that's actually a plus point. It's just a shame that you get to the same bit where all the cards have the same playstyles. The meta was quite annoying. Like you said, there was the 4-5-1 and the 4-4-1-1. It was. I tried using it. I just found it really boring. It was really boring to play against. And then some of the sort of meta build-up approaches as well, or even just we saw a lot of the sort of control your CDMs, don't move anyone else. Use your press and your second man press to basically defend. That's just boring for me, to be honest. So I couldn't go too much up because of that. But the gameplay itself, actually, I quite enjoyed. We were having a discussion before we came on air, and I've played like PC and Xbox. It's two different games, but on the PC, it was you can't really grumble about the gameplay on PC. I thought it was actually really good this year. Xbox is a totally different game. It's not quite up to the level of PC. So I think all in all, sort of 7's quite a fair score.
Fair enough. I'll go 7.5 again. Just want to boost it a little bit higher. Topic number 2 I've got is the pay to win versus the grind. How fair is Ultimate Team for free to play players this year? Let me ask you, Neil, first. Have you put in any money this year?
Yeah, plenty.
And let's just... Nate, have you put in any money?
A little bit, 20 quid here or there. Nothing major, not compared to some. But I have to say it's massively pay to win. Massively pay to win.
I would go as far as to say this has been the worst year for it.
Yeah, and I think it's hard because obviously they've got the store packs where they have even all the way through it's been guaranteed. You had it was a team of the year and you had the guaranteed team of the year, and and they've got now had over 90, say 96 plus, whatever it is now, and another version of the card as well. So if you've got ridiculous spare change, or if you just don't really care and you can put money into it, your team's going to be miles ahead of somebody, because we've seen the pack weight in normal packs. The rewards from actually grinding the game or even grinding the menus is nowhere near just going in and spending 2,000 points or 1,500 points, whatever they are. It's wild. You're right, this is the worst pay to win. Before it was pay to win because you had to open so many packs to get a good card, whereas now you can literally load up 100 quid or whatever it be in the store and you get good cards in pretty much every pack you open.
Neil, did Evolutions and squad building challenges bridge the gap, or does the in-game store push microtransactions? Like you said, harder than ever and doesn't matter.
If I can roll back, if you don't mind,
I
think the biggest problem this year, one of the biggest issues I took from the game from pre-release and the We've Listened campaign is this slow power curve, because it frankly never existed. MDid it says, I'll challenge MDid, it says it did exist.
It did exist in the first
There was
season,
the first promo might have been cards similar to the gold cards.
I think the fact Pina was 86 rated, Pina was, I think, 86 gold card, whatever.
I think
was viable until December.
Yeah, I genuinely think it wasn't perfect, but it was fine up until around Team of the Year, and then it's almost like they just spiraled with Team of the Year and it just went out of hand.
It depends how you define it as power curve. So there was 100k store packs available a week pre-release. On the first day of the pre-release, you could buy a 100k store pack in the store, yeah? So the power curve was solely just Rivals and Champs rewards this year, Squad Battles rewards were not even nerfed, they were massively nerfed. Massively nerfed.
I think that was the biggest issue in this.
That is their definition of slowing a power curve, is that for free, you can't get up to the curve. If you want to go to the store, within 2 promos, you could buy a guaranteed player of that promo. 29 promos, I've just Googled it. 29 promos this year in a 50-week cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Do the maths on that. It's promo every.
That won't come in. That won't take into account Team 1, 2, 3, and 4 for lots of them as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
There's
29 promos this year, and apart from the first, I can't remember what promos we had first, right? But the first promo, maybe 2 promos had cards that were almost identical to their gold cards, but they had a dynamic image and it looked good. After that, you had stats ramping up. The thing that they managed to control this year was playstyle pluses. Said in a previous pod, biggest problem they had last year was when they put winter wild cards onto 2 playstyle pluses so quickly, which then ramped up to 3 to 4 really quickly. And then 5. I don't think we're going to see many 5 playstyle plus cards this year. We've got a couple, haven't we? We've got a few. I think they've controlled the playstyle aspect of it in that sense, but the power curve for me was just literally saying your rewards are nerfed, so the content was poor, I think, and it's pretty much confirmed for next year. I think this year they've put little, or they've actually put a lot of effort into making SBCs nearly irrelevant. There's not been any mental big SBCs this year, proper standout SBCs like previous years.
Yeah, they were all early on as well. When you think of the likes of the Pogba's and stuff that came, well, he was 86, so he must have been in the first month or two.
Yeah,
that was kind of a must do then. But then,
even a Pogba, I'm talking about the previous years where you had Thunderstruck Eusebio, who was in everybody's team.
Yeah, the Casillas guard, SBC.
Casillas, you had that the Jorginho, the baby Jorginho that everyone got in 23, things like that.
Well, we did get the icon grind back this year as well. So
again, the grinds. I hate tokens, and I've not actually had a chance to talk about this in pod. I don't know if anybody wants to listen to me rant or not, but I hate the token system. But it's enough to put. It's what made me leave the game. I've now come back to it, but it's the token limit is what kills me.
Yeah,
and I've lost last week, for instance, because it's my fault, right? But I've went on to Rivals last week to do, and I got my points, and I've got 600 tokens, and I've left them, but at the top of the screen, massive big button says claim your rewards now, which you don't want to claim, and then you click it by accident, it claims 600 points and puts them in the bin straight away. It's BS. Not a fan of it at all.
We called that when they announced it. I'm sure I did it with Shaq and somebody else. Can't remember who else on, so apologies if there was someone else on it. But we said that, like, I really like the principle of tokens, and I think they're onto something that could be really good.
If they don't limit it, it's perfectly good.
The limit's wild, and like
if they put a weekly limit on it, kills it. But that's the plan.
If you've got the time to invest in the grind, you should be rewarded for that. Like we've always kind of said, like if you're a better player, you should reap those rewards. So elite, Div 1, Div 2, whatever, get better rewards as it should. Also, if you like to devote the time, because not everybody's going to be at that standard in terms of getting the results from that. So having whatever amount of points or tokens or even packs if they had that back. So there should be a way of rewarding skill, but then rewarding effort. Whereas at the moment, you don't need to do any of that. You can just kind of come on, log on, a few games, log out, sorted, and you can still end up with the same as anybody else.
I can't think of an SBC this year, John, that's been a proper stalwart on my team that's like previous years, even last year. I don't think I think this year was Marcelo Team of the Year was the big one for me because it cost me 2 million coin in fodder. And he stayed in my team for 3 or 4 months. But that's me. Normally, when you get a sign of a good SBC is that everybody's playing with them, everybody's using them. I've not really had that.
I think it's all fair point. You don't have to convince me. I think these are all fair points. I do think they gave in some effort. For example, putting in the icon grind. I always forget how it's called, but where you collect cards, toss in the cards to get the R9 this year, for example. They put it out there.
That was good. That was an experimentary thing, wasn't it? And it was a kind of relaunch of exchanges that they'd done from a previous game, wasn't it?
Yes, and I think that and combined with the token system is that they tried to give the free-to-play players something to play for, but still I agree 100% with rewards were utterly ridiculous, at least for a good half year, totally useless to be fair. I didn't even start. I did 2 or 3 week leagues, something like that. I think I got 13 wins in the first one, 13 in the second, and 12 in the third one. And the rewards were so ridiculously poor that I was like, you know what? I'm not going to spend my weekends doing this. Actually, it doesn't make any sense. I'm far better off just getting Elite Division, getting my wins in. That's a bigger chance of getting something good, and I can take all week to get there. So, and even those rewards were lackluster to say the least. Before
Nate gives his 2 cents, the Rivals up to March, April was like an 81 times 50 and stuff like that. I mean,
well, a little bit better for Elite, I think, but
yeah, but
got some team of the week.
I'm sure, like Division was it Division 4 or Division 3 upwards was worth the grind, but anything up to that, if you weren't going to push on past that, it almost wasn't worth going up through the divisions. But I'm sure I figured out that Div 4 upwards was that was acceptable, but not great, like especially based off previous years. But there's definitely a bit in it where you're like, no, I need to be in this division. But anything up to that, there was literally very little between all the sort of preceding divisions up until that point. Like I say, it's either 4 or 3, and then it's like, no, I need to push on because that's worth it.
Back to the point, I think content has been fantastic. It's always going to be fantastic. The problem is that the content's fantastic for store buyers. It's not fantastic for your players.
Yeah, I think if we would rate this, I would end up giving it a little bit lower rating, probably 5.5 or a 5. I think, generally speaking, content was good, but it far out rewards the paying player a lot more than the non-playing player.
I spoke a hell of a lot there. I think Nate must have something to say about this.
No, like, because I kind of focused on the pay-to-win type and then the reward side of things, but the actual content itself, like, there's so much to do. I generally don't think that side of things has been bad, sorry, so, especially when you've had, like, the World Tour, the Greats of the Game type stuff, where you've got all the different things to do in friendlies. Like, if you're doing that, just do uncapped friendlies, but I think that side of things has been phenomenal. Well,
because that's topic number 3 I've had.
Oh, sorry, I'll keep that.
The Rush Mode, Wicked League, Champions.
Right, well, we'll leave that. So if we're going on pay to win and sort of reward type thing, I've got to go with maybe a 2 or a 3. I think is possibly the worst it's been.
It's definitely been the most explicit it's been. It's the most obvious it's been this year.
But then I'm almost okay with that, because at least if you have decided to put something on it, like if you are putting 20 quid on or 10 quid, you know roughly what you're getting. So that's why it's not a 1 or a 0, because I'd rather, if people were spending their own money on it, it'd be a case of, right, I'm doing this so I can get, and say 94 plus rated promo cards, rather that than go for, say, a jumbo rare gold pack where you're not guaranteed to get anything over an 84.
I think it was, I wouldn't call it pay to win anymore. I would call it pay to progress is probably the way to put it. I think it's got that bad that if there was a point up to even as late as, I would even say even as late as the Festival of Football promo, where you weren't really massively upgrading your team unless you were buying a store pack every other week.
Fair enough. I think that's fair enough. I think that we hit the weakest spot of FC26 here. Talk about topic number 3, content, Rush Mode, Wicked League, and Rivals. Random question, Neil. You played much Rush this year?
I like Rush, just because my French. I like Rush, just to ask about it.
I did at the start. And then I did at the start of the token system again, just to make sure I max out at that point without using the exchanges.
A big problem with Rush, and it's something that, again, there's no rewards in it to do anything. To get your rushed rewards for the week, you were having to play upwards of 20, 30 games of Rush. You were getting, 1,000, 2,000 points, and you had to get up to 60,000 points.
And also,
it's just a waste.
Before the token system came in, the actual Rush rewards itself were dire. Like, you know, exactly. How it was like,
it's just nothing
get
there.
Up to 60,000, like it was that side. The Rush was, for me, Rush and moments are the weakest parts of Ultimate Team.
Moments, why does it even exist apart from a couple of days? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, that was it.
Actually, moments is a very good way of teaching you certain mechanics in FC.
Is that the point of it, though?
But it is a very good way of teaching you, because
it should be the point there.
Tackle styles. Actually, I think moments is like a very good tutorial for new players and recurring players to get back into it. Except it's not advertised like that and it's not built for that. But I think
they could do so much more with it.
Yeah, if they updated the stars on it, and you'd probably wouldn't go in and use it. Eh?
Yeah, and I think especially at the start of the game, the first thing I always do is just go through moments a little bit, because it will give you some good packs to start off the game normally.
Yeah,
and it gives you like a refresher. Oh, this is how you take free kick this year, because that changed, for example, on FC27. might be worth checking out, corners, etc. But that's a different story. I think the biggest thing is, for me, there was plenty to do. Tournaments, leagues. We had everything this year, right? I think the biggest downfall for players in this game is that you want to do everything. Players that do everything get burned out and are complaining that doesn't give reward. Like, the thing is, if you catch 5 fish, they have to taste really good, all 5 of them. But if you just catch 1 fish, you focus on catching that 1 fish for tonight, right? I think that fish will taste delicious if you stick to that 1 fish. So that's probably a bad analogy for what I'm trying to say here. But what I'm trying to say is that if I look at this and I'm like, oh, Russia played it through the first week. Yeah, nobody's passing ball. I got to play a whole lot of game. I'm spending 3 hours to get these rewards. Rewards aren't worth it. That means for me, I don't even like doing it. It's fine. I'm stop touch. I'll just don't touch it. I'll play 3 weekend leagues. Rewards are pretty crap. I got my performance in which I wanted. You know what? That's another weekend save for me. I'm not going to touch that for a long while. And I'll focus on rivals. That's how I play this game.
Yeah, you'll get people that say you shouldn't play for rewards and you don't play for rewards. I solely play for rewards because the point of Ultimate Team is to improve your team, isn't it? And if you can't improve,
you're not playing for rewards. I'm saying play for rewards, the things you like to do or you think that's worth playing for.
I think
I'm not touching squad battles still. So
I think what they've done with game modes in terms of live events and adding Gauntlet in this year, to be honest, has been probably their shining light of the year. It's probably the best thing they've done all year. They've executed it well. We've just moaned about rewards and stuff being nerfed and stuff. Gauntlet did give you good rewards. Let's not say good rewards. It gave you rewards. Really, it's just all solely down to pack luck. Whether we get on to talk about 26 pack luck compared to other years is another thing. But I think if you were solely relying on your old methods of playing rivals during the week, champs at the weekend, you were never going to move forward. The fact that they've put in gauntlets and live events, it took them a while to get a lot of rewards quickly and up and running, because Gauntlet, when it first came out, and I think they quickly realised that if this is solely going to be a reward for winning thing, people would have quickly fell out with the game. I think the fact that they changed it to reward for play and have a win bonus, I think was a massive success for them this year.
Yeah, and that touches on what we're saying, like rewarding the sort of higher tier players as well, because a lot of those players that were in the bonus rewards, they were good cards, but they weren't groundbreaking. Like, the worst thing it did was make you come up against someone and go, oh, he's clearly a good player because he's won whatever, like 3 perfect rounds out of 4 or whatever it is. Like, you kind of, it's the mental edge, but the players themselves weren't, or the cards themselves, sorry, weren't amazing. But I think that side of content's been amazing, like we touched on in the previous segment. Like, so much to do. The capping of the tokens plays into this as well, though, because if you had uncapped tokens, you'd probably be more likely to grind a bit more. Whereas when you've only got 1,000, like, you know yourself, like John, you'll be squad battles is the first one to go. Rush was the first one to go. I mean, I still do squad battles now and then. Well, I did. I was playing it sort of properly.
That's it.
Exactly, but for people with a bit of time, you still have to like prioritize what's your most enjoyment in this game, and then obviously tie that in with your tokens. So if people like champs, well, I know champs is a different token system, sorry, but people just prefer live events, great. People like rivals, great. Like, because it's limited, you don't have to do everything, although there's plenty to choose from.
Squad battles is your easiest 600 tokens you'll make all week. That's why I do it.
Yeah, and you can tie it in with other objectives.
Asleep, so that's why I can't do it.
Well, why not get 600 tokens for fall asleep? It's even better, doesn't it? I mean, it's better than playing rivals.
The thing is, and I think I'll do a separate podcast on FC 27. We get a lot of people that say they get burned out by this game, but I think you get burned out by every game that start to feel like a grind. If you feel like you got to do things, that will always start to burn you out, right? I mean, Neil, you love barbecue. I love barbecue. But if someone says every single day, you got to make dinner, I'm doing the barbecue, you get tired of it. And somewhere down the road.
I think the FOMO is, I think EA purposely done this, and I think they do this on purpose. I think they put that FOMO aspect into the game, don't they?
Yeah, but I think that's why I don't get burned out of this game or any game, to be fair, is because I just say, if this is not fun, I'm not doing it. hey, I'm not feeling this. I'm skipping it. I don't care about if I miss a reward or something else. My team's probably the weakest of our teams. Don't really care too much. Would be nicer if it was a little bit stronger, but it wouldn't convince me to start playing squad battles, for example. So
yeah,
I think that keeps me sane as well. To be fair, is the structure? Quick question. I'll just ask this one to Nate because we got to go through this a couple more things. Nate, is the structure of champs where you get rewards with every single win, and the structure of rivals where you can actually relegate, not from everywhere, but and you have like a mini rival system on lower divisions. Has that made an impact? Is that a good change?
The champs one's definitely a change. Every game's meaningful in champs, as it should be, because it's champs. So I'm happy with that. Rivals, I quite like the whole you can get relegated, you may not get relegated. They didn't do an awful lot with the bonuses you had in rivals because some of them kind of fast tracked you, gave you rewards and stuff, and that seemed to disappear quite quickly. Rivals to me hasn't been too big a downside. I know some people don't like it because it does get really sweaty, but as you go up the divisions, people want to win. So it's going to happen the same with any competitive game you've got. So I don't know whether I'm in the minority or not, but I don't mind the structure of both champs and rivals.
Not quickly to you then, Neil. Do you mind it? Do you think it was a good change?
No, I'm exactly the same as Nate. I remember the days there was 40 games in Weekend League and even 20 games, 15s. I do 15. I'm so impatient, so I try and do it in one sitting, which is probably to my detriment. But rivals could be good. Rivals could be exceptional. I'll use that. I'll go as far as that. Rivals could be exceptional if it wasn't a Thursday weekly. If it was just if you get so many wins up to your, how many points is it? 24.
Well, I don't know. I don't know now. It 24? Was 30. It was 30, was it not? It was like 15 wins or something at one point.
It's 16 points and 24 for bonus. If you get to your 24 points, you get your rewards, and then boom, you start again. That's how it should be.
Wins in 7 days, though. I mean,
no, but what do you get? You get your 8 wins really quickly. Then what? You sit about for a week, twiddling your thumbs. You know, do I not just have it?
I didn't. But then I'll just boost it up on divisions really early on. I think that's
but what if you're not interested? What if you're just happy to just play games, and if you win them, you win. If you don't, and if you don't really care what division you're in, why not give you the rewards?
Then I think you're one of those players that play multiple game modes in this full Ultimate Team.
I mean, I'm sitting in Division 3 just now, and I've not really played the rivals side of it much. Mainly because when I do play, I just give my tokens away by accident. So I think that would be the best thing they could do to rivals is get rid of a Thursday reward system and just give you the rewards once you get to your 24 points. Then you got to reset, start again. That's how I would do it. I'd probably get a lot of players playing as well.
Fair enough. Last topic consists out of 2 smaller topics, and I want to get some quick fire answers in this one. Because else we are running out of time. This is all about the evolutions and the market. Neil, evolutions. Are people using them creatively to upgrade favorite club players, or is everyone just building identical meta squads? Question
evolutions 2.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I want to say question 2, transfer market is in a good spot, yes or no?
Evolutions are great for people like Nate and John, who are St Johnstone supporters for next year. I think it gives them a platform to play the game. It's great for Wimby for his Reading team. It's great for Homer for his Rangers team. Evolutions are great for that side of things. Evolutions are great as well in the sense of guys like me who are taking probably meta players but making them more customised meta, or the way I like to have players. So I wouldn't get rid of evolutions. They're great. So there's my quick answer for that. It wasn't very quick. Transfer market, dead as a dodo. I'm amazed it's even going to be in the game next year. It's relevant for what? It's relevant for the first month for FIFA. This year it was relevant for the first 3-4 weeks, trying to build a gold team. Other than that, they don't want a market. I've said it in the pod before. They're trying to get rid of it. They're doing everything they can to get rid of it. And they're succeeding, frankly. I think the market's almost irrelevant.
Nate, up to you. Evolutions in the market, my friend.
Yeah, so Evolutions to me started off a great promise. It was really cool getting, not even like worst team, but you know, as a United fan, I had some really good EVOs from lower rated players, but very convoluted still. Too many ways to chain it, too many different evolutions. So they've tried to fix that at times as well. But I just think EVOs currently are far too overpowered, and they have been probably since Christmas. You can chain them up and get ridiculous cards, which then goes hand in hand with your next question about the market. Why would you go to market and buy a promo card at ridiculous price when you can just EVO your favourite players anyway? So market's a disaster. The market is pointless. Like, how many weeks ago it was, and we still had, you know, 83s and 84s were more expensive than 88s and 89s. Like, that's wild. Like, it should be having an SBC spike. Like, the only thing that's been any sort of value is Team of the Weeks and Team of the Seasons, just because of that mundane requirement for it, which will go in the next couple of weeks, you'd imagine, anyway, for the SBCs. So, net dead. EVOs, good premise, a lot of work needed to make them more relevant. Well, not relevant because they're very relevant, but more in line with the power curve.
Yeah, fair enough. I think the only good side about this transfer market this year has been that many good players were really cheap. You can see it now in FUT as well, but prior to that as well, if you don't go for the Mbappes, you could get really good players for 20, 25, 30k. If they were really good, maybe 100k. And unless they were extremely good, they were like 4 million and they were unaffordable. If you skip the unaffordable players, I think promos could change your teams a whole lot more than before. But I also definitely agree on Evo. I think evolutions are still too convoluted for me. Like, if you need another website to see how you have to evolution them at best, I think that doesn't make any sense. When you do that, they are becoming too strong, which can be kind of cool, but then again, ruins the market. And I think if you don't follow that trend, it sort of puts you out of the game. That's my take on that. I do still like the fact of evolutions. If you have like an evolution player for your own team, let's say Feyenoord, St. Johnson, whatever, you get that player in and you grind that out throughout the year and it will be 99 at the end of the year. Follow the curve that's currently going. I think that will be very much a good spot. But I think the biggest issue with this game and a power curve is still that we should just stop with the insane ratings on cards. Ratings, like overall ratings, are probably ratings to make sure that card gets packed or not, right? The higher it is, the lower chance you have to pack it. But that also makes sure there's no limit to it. Like, there's no ceiling to cards as well. If they just bring out the card per game and say everyone's max out at 84, whatever.
Perfect example.
88, whatever.
Perfect example of evolutions this year, and where it went wrong was the Vulture Evo.
Yeah,
everyone had a. Everybody had a silver. Oh, I didn't do it, but everybody had a silver star Vulture with 90 plus stats in every department, because you could chain them up to do that. And EA had to wait a minute, we need to do something here. They don't want you to have the cards, and it's clear they don't. So that's silver stars literally became irrelevant for the full game, which had such promise at the start of the game, became completely irrelevant because community found a way to break it, and they broke it.
True. If we look at those 4 topics, so the market and the evolutions, the content and the way we play this game, the pay to win versus the grind, and the gameplay, the meta, and the playstyle, I have a feeling this game wasn't actually that poor as people certainly feel like it was. Nate, is there something you would like to add to the discussion, or something that would make you change the score after going into depth into this? You gave a 6.5, right? 7.5.
Yeah, 6.25, John, get it right. No, I wouldn't change it. I mean, you're right. I don't think it's as bad as people made out, and I don't think a lot of it's the game. I think it's, like Neil said, the empty promises, the potential for like an absolutely incredible game, like ruins by not ruins, but changed by the patch. It's the lack of menu grind. The menu grind hasn't been amazing throughout. Like, we're 4 weeks away from a new cycle, and usually by now you're getting like the full blown sort of menu grind. There's not a lot there. SBCs haven't been great, so that brings it down. But the actual gameplay and a lot of the actual content in terms of gameplay and content, I think, has been actually really good. It's probably been better, but the lows are a lot lower as well. So I think that's what kind of clouds people. Even like we're saying with driving you to the store because the market's rubbish, that gets in people's heads. Oh, they're just after the money because they're putting stupidly good packs in the store. So all in all, it's like people going EA being EA. Like we kind of always said they were going to try and kill the market, drive you to the store. That's what they're doing. So next it'll be you can go to the store and buy tokens if you've not got it. That'll be the next step for it. So that's like
buy experience already. So yeah,
well,
yeah, exactly.
There's the token limit through the store as well. That'll be the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Buy this for 20 quid and you can get another. You can like double or triple your token allowance or something like that. It'll be something like that.
Yeah,
and if they do that, that's what's going to make the whatever goodwill's left with, we say the diehard community. Like some people still love it, but I think that's going to be interesting. But I think that's what brings it down is kind of not the gameplay, it's everything around the game instead.
Yeah, don't forget they also introduced the season passes this year.
Yeah, but I'm okay with season passes. I think season passes are fine. I think it's a good way to get extra. Like it's a lot of coins. It's not a lot of physical money. I know it's still
next
something.
Year when you want tokens, you need to have the season pass, or you don't get.
Yeah, there'll definitely be something like that in the season pass. So
you stick with the 6.25?
Yeah, I'm second.
Neil, after deep diving into all these topics and having just say. We didn't say we weren't going to talk about this. I asked you the number right before we started, so you didn't have much time to think about it. Would you change your score, which was a 6.5?
6.5, I gave it. I'm reluctant to change. I like the 6.5, and it's hard to argue or even add to what Nate's just said. He's pretty much nailed it exactly. Said about the game. There was something I was going to say, and it's kind of slipped my head now. But it was to do with the market. I mean, store packs have always been strong this year. It's how they want to push the game forward. I think next year, there will be a sense of you can get 2,000 tokens a week, but it'll cost you a tenner or something like that. I think that will come. I think season passes have been really good this year, especially. When it went to premium passes, it's hard to argue that you've not got value out of them, especially when you get to the kind of level 20 upwards. You get to the end of that season, you can get the SP and get packs in. It's been good. I've actually enjoyed that side of it. I always make sure I complete my season. So I've had my value for money out of them. I've enjoyed them. But the gameplay's been fine. I mean, you look at it, there's not been many major bugs or glitches. Was it last year or Team of the Year where the goals started floating in the middle there and all that kind of stuff? Was that last year, the year before?
For a whole lot of weeks though, but we don't talk about gloves on this podcast. People know
if the ball goes out for a throw in, then your player can't throw it in, and you need to quit the game, or you flick it up with Rolfo, then you run into the goals, or that kind of stuff. We've not had any of that this year, so that's a plus. Gameplay side's been really good. I do think though. And the cynic in me says that they're really, really pushing you to the store. And I think that's just going to be exactly the same next year. And I'm sticking with that kind of score because I think that's the kind of stuff this year. SBCs haven't been great. I think they'll be even worse or poorer next year because of it. The store packs will remain as strong as ever.
Yeah, with the guild EA has after the takeover now, the depth, I think it's 5 billion or something. I'm expecting a lot more on the stores next year as well. To be fair, don't think that will change. I think those were fair comparisons, fair discussions. I said a 7.5, right? If I should probably go back to like a 7.25, a little bit, because there's something that's still like the store thing is definitely bothering me as well. I think. What you said about that, I think the broken promises is something that's been really frustrating. I think the most frustrating part for me is still cheaters, though. With all the promises they said about cheating and the whole like blog post they wrote about new cheating devices and how they all suffice and battle it, it's still so equivalent to still have cheaters on there to just break the game for you. And it's still one thing that keeps me off from playing PC, although I might try this year. But silencing that has been frustrating still for me.
I've been 3/4 of the cycle on PC, and I think I've encountered 2 or 3 cheaters. That's it.
Yeah, but if you're on Xbox, you've encountered probably way more, especially on Weekend League days, and on PlayStation as well. So
just turn your crossplay off. It's really simple.
Yes, but that's the frustrating part. I think crossplay should never have to be turned off because of cheaters. That's a solution and a problem that shouldn't be there. And the fact that it still doesn't get addressed once a year when they try to sell copies, I think that is just the frustrating part, and the silence. We did a whole episode about it where we show the tools which you can get for a tenner and just say, okay, whenever your opponent touches the ball, he disconnects and I win. You could just put it in, and nobody responded. Send it to EA, send it with the example, send it with the screenshots, put it on the forums. Message got deleted. It's still a bit frustrated for me. But the potential is there for the game. And I've seen that on the tournaments, seen that on the online of the events we played. We've seen it on the tournaments we hosted. We've seen it on matches we played with friends. This game actually has the potential, and I think the change they did to FC 27 could actually help that. It could be it is at times really fun to play this game. There's nothing fundamentally broken, I think, in the game itself. Everything around it makes it a little bit harder. But if you play this game in season, I think this is actually a really cool game to play. If you play this in a controlled environment in FUT, it's actually a really cool thing to play. If you put this game out in the wild and people can can abuse every single corner or cut any corner without them being too much limited, I think that's where EA falters a little bit too much, and this game falters as well. But then again, I hated the way SBCs were done, because doing 7, 8, 9 SBCs was really doing my head in. That has changed for next year as well. So,
but even that's a result of the market being terrible, because they couldn't put an incredible player for 5 SBCs when you can buy them for 800 coins per player or whatever. So I dislike it as well. But for one of these times, I'm actually on the EA side that you kind of have to do something. So if they screwed the market up, they've got to do something to counteract that for the SBC. So I see the frustration, which is probably why EA seem to be endorsing certain third-party programs at the moment to make things easier.
Yes, which also shouldn't be a thing, especially when it's actually against your team of services. And you could ban people because of it, and you have banned people because of it as well. It's a weird situation. But hey, the game itself, I think we discussed it all. I think for me, this has been a pretty cool podcast here. We definitely had plenty of moments to discuss, plenty of changes throughout the season. Can't say this season was stale in any way, shape, or form. If it was on content, if it was on the gameplay we had, or the changes they made, or the communications they did. We had a lot of changes. I think if I stick my number at like 7.5 still, we'll end up like a 6.75. We can be very positive, say it's a 7-, right? And I think that's a decent score for this game for this year. I'm very much looking forward to FC 27. Again, when this game started, I checked it out. I gave this an 8 out of 10 in the first week. I thought it was really, really, really good. So
it was the best, most promising start to a game we've had in years. Everyone was on board with it, and just the people that didn't want to learn to defend and couldn't cope. But in the listening to them, that was the biggest disappointment at the start.
Exactly. I'm wondering, though, we're going to ask this on the socials as well. Put your rating 1 out of 10, 1 to 10, I would say, in here. Let us know what your number would be and what the main reason is for that. Because I do feel if we gave it a 7- or 6.75, I do feel we're on the higher end of the most people's skill. And that's why I wanted to have the in-depth discussion with the certain topics to go through it all. That leaves me with saying thank you to you guys, of course, for joining today. I want to thank all the whole team this year for helping us make at least another 100 plus. I think it's 150 episodes or something. Again, We are taking a short break, but before I do, I want to thank all the listeners and viewers and new fans and people commentating, and even my Argentina fans sending me pictures, for all the commitment they give to us, all the support, all the coffees they bought us, all the times they click the play button, and all the times they think I got it wrong, and they were very vocal about it. But I do appreciate everyone for supporting us, because most podcasts don't make it past 8 episodes. We've made it past 830 already, and we're not planning on stopping anytime yet. And I'm very proud on that. And I love everyone for supporting us in that. And on that note, that leaves us with one thing left to do, and that's to take a vacation and say it's time for us to
drop it.
Drop it.
Drop it. See you next season.
Drop it.
FUT. FUT. Interview. FUT.